Hi, everybody, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 already of Power Networking Media's weekly feature program, Spotlight on Small Business. I'm your host, Moshe Klein. Spotlight on Small Business introduces you to successful small business owners who share content and information that you don't want to miss. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome my friend and networking partner, Beth Georges from the Georges Group, to the program. Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
And I'm thrilled to have you, Beth, for so many reasons. You know, Beth, you are the CEO and perhaps the chief creative mind at the Georges Group, but you also describe yourself as a business doctor. And that's what I'd like to talk about to open our very brief discussion today. You know, as an accountant for so many decades, I too think of myself as a doctor. My clients or patients come to me with challenges about their financial reports, cash flow, or even sometimes, God forbid, a letter from the IRS. Tell me, as a business doctor, Dr. Georges, what do your clients or patients bring to you and how do you help them?
It's different every time.
I would
And
imagine.
it can be a financial challenge. It can be no plan. It could be profits are flat. They're losing sales. There's quite an abundance of different challenges that they have. And to give you kind of an example of one, more recent one, I got hired by this law firm, and the partners were just really challenged day in and day out, feeling very frustrated over having no control over their business. So I walked in and we were going to do a strategic plan, but first thing I asked was to see the financials. And so I looked at the financials and found a lot of things that scared me for them. So before we even did the strategic plan, and kind of gave them a roadmap, we worked on their financials and put things in the right buckets and looked at costs and how they could save money. So everybody's different. I do not have any kind of strict game plan. I know a lot of people out there do. It's just kind of step one, step two, step three, because my clients all come to me with different ailments, if you will, different challenges that I really have to look at everything and see where there are gaps. Something that I do as well, Moshe, is when asking questions and speaking with staff as well as the partners or the CEO or the C-suite, so often people will say, I think, what people normally say when those questions are posed. I get the most amount of information that is most beneficial by what they're not saying. I'm really hearing what they're not saying. And so that's kind of a uniqueness for me that um, I hear a lot of other consultants don't have. A lot of times I come in when consultants they've hired charged them a lot of money and they left them in a year, they were highly challenged. So here we go again. So
You know,
all sorts of
Beth,
different things.
it is not easy being a small business owner. And you touched on actually a few things that I'd like to, a thread I'd like to pull on, one or two threads. One of it is having a game plan. We cannot, as small business owners, waste a minute of our day. Our time is valuable. It is money to us. We cannot have a tail wagging the dog syndrome. And you have to have a game plan. And on a good day, Beth, I'm sure you would agree, we're lucky if we can accomplish a part of what was on our agenda or list of things to do. How important
Absolutely.
does that game plan and training and working with your small business clients with the concept of managing, being in control, how important is that in your daily discussions with your clients?
It's critical. Excuse me. It's absolutely critical. It's so easy for a situation to come into play for somebody. And it's like, as one of my clients says, squirrel, we're just going to run and attack that and forget everything else. And I think setting up the right game plan holds specific individuals accountable for helping. Everything runs up the ladder to why do we exist? Why are we here as a business? It's not about having necessarily a passion project. It's what value are they providing their clients? Taking that and then dropping down and building tactics under their strategies. And we get really tight on the strategies and the tactics and set up who's doing what by when. If it doesn't happen, interesting enough, those notes on why it didn't happen help create the future, because we figure out, oh, well, we didn't know that this was connected here. And if we don't do this first, we can't do this. So great analysis in just the process itself.
Beth, we are quickly running out of time. I mean, I could talk to you literally all day, not only because I find you interesting and engaging, but there are so many things to talk about that would be of benefit to small business owners. But I want to pull on one more thread that you mentioned, and that's being a good listener. You pride yourself on that, and I've spoken with you many times before, and I know that to be true. You know, I'm a huge advocate that I know for people seeking out professional advice. I know what I know, and I've come to terms with the fact that I know what I don't know. And I have to work with professionals like you. I always say that you need a good insurance advisor, a good legal advisor, a good tax advisor. You also need a good business advisor. Would you agree with that, Beth? And what is it that you do on a free consultation? When someone would reach out to you, identifying X as the problem when you might suspect that it might be Y or Z. How do you handle that in an initial free consultation with a client?
I ask only a few questions and gather a lot of the information from the client, because that tells me a lot. And one of those questions can be, what do you think has gone awry with your company? Where do you want to be, and how are you proceeding? What are you doing? What steps do you have in place in order to ensure that you reach those goals? And quite often, they don't have anything in place. So during that first initial consultation, I usually, through your organization, Power Networking team, will provide an hour free to help people kind of get a perspective of whether they would be comfortable working with me, and whether I can help them, because both of those are very, very important for both sides. Time is
It
running out.
is time. We are actually out of time, believe it or not. These interviews go so very quickly. Beth, not only do I highly recommend that any small business owner that is hearing this broadcast that may have some questions or may have identified some real challenges and they just don't know how to go about dealing with them, that they do reach out to you for a free and confidential consultation. How can our viewers reach you? What's the best way, Beth?
Two ways, depending upon what's easiest for them and best for them. They can text me or call me on my cell phone number, which is 609-216-2966. If you dial 602, you won't reach me. So please note 609-216-2966 or Beth at thegeorgisgroup.com.
That's awesome. And also, you mentioned Power Networking Team. If they want to network with you directly, they can join Power Networking Team and meet you up front and personal every Tuesday morning or Thursday morning. This has been another enjoyable and beneficial episode of Power Networking Media's weekly feature program, Spotlight on Small Business. My guest today was Beth Georges from the Georges Group. You can find another new and helpful episode if you're a small business owner, if you tune into a device near you every Wednesday. Until next Wednesday, good luck and good networking, everybody.